Hello, Tyler. How are you? Oh, am I? Did I mute myself? Okay, no. Did I? Hello, Brian. How are you guys doing? You guys have a good break? Yeah? What'd you do? Anything interesting? It was okay. I was sick for a lot of it, as usual. So, like, that seems unfair, but hi, Hannah. Oh, Hannah's still connecting to audio. Hi, Victor. What are we doing today? The American musical, everyone's favorite. Hi, Jada. Hi, Emma.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing better than I was, that's for sure.
That's good.
Yeah, I was not feeling good at all. Oh, you've
Yeah.
got, look at the background. That's so cute.
I'm on stage.
That's very cute.
Yeah. I'm gonna do something in my next class, because there's another filter that like can give you like mustaches.
Oh, that's funny.
I'm going to use this in Mr. Fadden's class.
I love it.
Be like, yeah, I'm like I look real good.
That's
To
funny.
be honest, I kind of look like my old English teacher, Mr. F.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It like he wore like these sports headbands, and so with that mustache, I would look like him.
That's amazing. I love it.
Yeah. I'm just tired and just want sleep.
Yeah.
I did get to sleep in a little bit because I forgot to put my alarm on, and
Oh,
my body automatically wakes up at like 7:30 if I don't wake up at 7.
yeah. Yeah, I pretty much wake up at 6:45 no matter what, so.
Yeah.
Hi, Giselle. Hi, Mildred. What's up? So, it's December 1st. Do any of you guys do advent calendars?
My mom's doing a frozen advent calendar with my sister.
Nice. I have 3 this year.
Oh my. Are they socks or
No, I have so basically Aldi has a bunch of you have your agenda. Oh. Aldi has a bunch of advent calendars every year.
my
And
mom's got hers?
is it?
Yeah.
So yeah, they have a bunch of advent calendars every year, and my dad was going to go to Aldi to try to get me one. And so I told him, I said, "Well, they have a chocolate one, they have a coffee one, and they have a cheese one, and I would be happy with any of those."
There's a
He
cheap.
got me all of them.
Oh my.
Yeah, I guess everybody else was like there to get, because they had a wine one this year.
Oh, they have a wine one.
Yeah. Oh, you got a chef hat. That's nice.
I'm from the
But yeah,
Rat Tattoosicle.
everybody was there to get the wine one. So my dad just like went around the crowd and just grabbed one of all the other ones. So I've had my apple pie coffee from the coffee one.
Ooh,
I had a Mediterranean Gouda from the cheese one, and then I haven't had the chocolate one yet.
that's
So,
nice.
let's see. Okay.
Ooh, this is my favorite one to mess with. I like messing with like the lip color and then putting the noir on because then it makes me look like I'm from like a noir movie.
I didn't realize I had all that stuff. Hannah, I'm sorry to hear that about your laptop. So we are not using Nearpod today, but oh, you liked it, Carla? Good. But we will in the future. So just if you need to maybe like use if you need me to share the slides for the Nearpod, remind me and I'll do that. So Carla liked Hamilton. Heck yeah.
Hamilton was great. Hamilton was a masterful work of art, even though it's historically inaccurate.
Well, yeah, it is. But, you know, I mean, you're not going to the theater to learn about history.
Yeah. But I will admit that Hamilton kind of did bring out my love of like history and like actually figuring out what happened, like what actually happened.
But yeah, I mean, that's a good point. Like, is it, even though it's not historically accurate, if
it causes you to have to research about it.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys have listened to the is it called remix? Is that what it's called?
Oh, I love the remix version.
The Hamilton mixtape. Very good. Very good songs. There's a lot
more
than you thought. That's funny.
My favorite one of the Hamilton mixtapes is Regina Spektor, and when she sings what was the song name? Oh my goodness, my brain. I know all the songs, but like I don't know their names.
She sings Dear Theodosia.
Oh my god, that song makes me cry every time.
Yeah, it's very good. We're gonna wait just one more minute before we get started because I know everybody's sort of having a hard time adjusting to this only 5 minutes between classes thing, which I get. Totally get. Honestly, I think it's harder for you guys than it is for the teachers because most of us have at least like 1 hour or one like period off, whereas you guys, it's just like back to back to back. So I think it's actually more difficult for you guys than it is for us to deal with like just the 5 minutes in between classes.
I mean, I always end up like during the beginning parts of class, I always have the next classes ready.
Yeah.
I always like get the next class up.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good idea too. That's what I've been telling you get out early. Yeah. I've been telling everybody just to like get logged into the next Zoom and then go leave your computer if you need to. So that way you're at least like in the classroom at the beginning.
When I had the 10 minutes, I would usually like, that's where I would set everything up. So like 5 minutes of that was finishing the exit ticket from the last class.
Yeah.
And then the next 5 minutes was me doing,
right,
getting all my stuff ready.
And now you don't have that other 5 minutes. Yeah. I get it. Yeah. Like I said, I think it's harder for you guys than it is for us. All right, we have most everyone. We might still pick up a few friends, but so everybody's doing okay. Everybody had a good break, or mostly. Yeah. Well, good.
My sleep.
Yeah, I did too. I was having trouble with my eye, and so I wasn't able to basically do anything. I couldn't play video games. I couldn't really like even watch TV. I couldn't read. So I basically just laid on my couch and listened to stuff because I didn't have any more options. You're waiting for December 7th. What happens on December 7th? December 7th is next week, next Monday. You ate a bunch of food. Nice. Yeah, me too, Mia. I also ate a bunch of food. I baked a pie if you guys want to see it. Let me
what pie?
A sugar-free apple pie for my dad's birthday. He's diabetic. So I always want either me or my mom bake his birthday pie because he's never really been a fan of cake anyway.
Like, if it's a really good cake, then I like cake. But like sometimes there's cakes that are just like so dry, it just makes you like not like cake.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so it wasn't baked. I didn't get a picture of it baked, but there's the pie that I made. The final season of your favorite show comes out that day. What show, Carla?
Oh, is it Supernatural?
No, Supernatural just ended.
Oh, it did?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Boy, was Twitter mad. Oh,
yeah.
Attack on Titan. That's very cool.
Oh,
Carla.
Attack on Titan's finally
I
ending.
watched the Scooby-Doo episode of Supernatural because I started watching it
Oh,
like
yeah.
years back, right? But my favorite was the Scooby-Doo. It's just because like Scooby-Doo is like everything to me.
Yeah.
Like there's even like on Netflix they have the Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated. That is my favorite show.
Okay, Mystery Incorporated. Like, is that the one like they are in the Crystal
Yeah,
City?
So
Oh my
detailed,
goodness.
and the characters
That
actually
was my
have, like,
childhood.
a good yes, and I'm so sad.
That was my childhood. See, I don't know why, but during the summer when I was going into third grade, there were two shows that I watched religiously. That was one, Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated, and two, Casper the Friendly Ghost Goes to School.
Oh, I forgot about Casper. Yeah. I watched
It's that weird CG show.
Casper.
I watched those two like crazy for some random reason.
Well, isn't that all like binge watching, right?
I mean, I watched all the main 2010s movies, like not movies, but shows like Adventure Time, Gravity Falls, regular show. But like, it was that year the first time that I actually watched those shows, because like for a long time me and my mom had lived in an apartment and like we had DVDs and movies.
Yeah.
I never knew what cable was until I went to my grandfather's house.
All right. Well, today we are going to talk about musicals. So we're going to talk about the golden age of musicals in America, which is primarily the 50s and the 60s. Okay. So we are edging our way up to present day, right? If you look at Schoology, everything for the rest of the semester is laid out for us. So you'll see we only have a few more actual lectures to go, and then the last week of class we are going to spend watching The King and I. So that's your reward for making it through this semester of virtual madness, is that we are going to watch a movie for the last week, so that this will be a fun, stress-free place to be, hopefully. All right. So we're going to start with the background on where the American musical started, right? Because it didn't just like come out of nowhere. And then we will talk about how it impacted other media. We're going to talk about things that have happened previously and things that are to come. And then we're going to talk about the RPA papers and stuff sort of at the end of class. All right, so we're going to start in 1950s New York City on Broadway. All right. Let's see. Madeline, can you read this slide for us, please?
By our powers combined, musicals, a series of short skits, singing, dance, making a mockery of someone to make people laugh over it, short, light, funny opera.
Yeah, okay. So we have vaudeville, we have comedy burlesque, and we have operette. So mockery. What does it mean when you make a mockery of something? If you're mocking somebody. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, you mock someone?
Yeah, if you mock someone, what are you doing?
You're making fun of them.
Okay. All right. So comedy burlesque, it can be, is it always like mean-spirited or no? What do you guys think? No, you're just copying them, says Giselle. Okay. Zanette says, no. Right. Okay. So it doesn't necessarily have to be mean, right? Although I think a lot of the times when we hear mockery, we think that it's negative, right? But not necessarily, right? It is an imitation. Okay. Vaudeville. Has anybody heard about vaudeville before? If I said a series of short skits, singing and dancing, have you heard of, is there any like modern show that you can think of that's kind of like that? TikTok. You know, that's actually kind of interesting. The Mickey Mouse. Yeah. Okay. So if you watch like Mickey Mouse Club, like OG Mickey Mouse Club, it was basically vaudeville, right? I actually kind of like the idea of TikTok being modern vaudeville. Like, that's kind of interesting. If people like came together and made that, like, instead of a compilation, if it was like purposefully put together that way. Okay, good. So you have some idea of that, right? And then we have an operette. So an opera, right? This is like a small opera that is meant to be short and funny and lighthearted. Okay. So I want to show you an example of an operette from Gilbert and Sullivan's The Pirate of Penzance. Okay. We're going to watch I Am the Very Model of a Modern Major General. All right.
General. Yes, yes, he is a Major General. Yes, yes, I am a Major General. For he is a Major General. He is a Major General. And it is a glorious thing. He is a Major General, a Major General. Life information, vegetable, animal, and mineral. I know the kings of England, and I quote the Pike's historical from Marathon to Waterloo in order categorical. I'm very well acquainted too with matters mathematical. I understand equations both the simple and quadratical. About binomial theorem, I'm teeming with a lot of news. Ooh, lot of news, lot of news. Got it. With many careful facts about the square of the hypotenuse. Very good at integral and differential calculus. I know the scientific names of beings and animalculous. In short, it matters vegetable, animal, and mineral. I am the very model of a modern Major General. I know arithmetic, history, king Arthur's answer paradox. I answer hard acrostics, I have a pretty taste for paradox. I quote in elegiacs all the kinds of Heliogabalus. In conics, I can draw peculiarities and I can tell undoubted Raphaels from Geronto's I know the croaking chorus from the frogs of Aristophanes. Then I can hum a fugue which I've heard the music dinner for. Ooh, dinner for. Got it. And whistle all the airs from that infernal nonsense pinafore. Then I can write a washing bill in Babylonic uniform and tell you every detail of Caractacus' uniform. And show you that it's vegetable, animal, and mineral. I am the very model of a modern Major General. In fact, when I know what is meant by Mamelon and Ravelin, when I can tell at sight a Mauser rifle from a javelin, when such affairs as sorties and surprises I'm more wary at, and when I know precisely what is meant by commissariat. When I have learned what progress has been made in modern gallery, when I know more of tactics than a novice in a nunnery, in short, when I've a smattering of elemental strategy. Ooh, that's a hard one, strategy. Got it. You'll say a better Major Generalis never. Strategy! For my military knowledge, though I'm plucky and adventurous, has only been brought down to the beginning of the century, but still in letters better double animal and mineral. I am the very model of a modern Major General.
All right, what'd you think? I know Hannah loved it. You liked it? It's a very difficult song, right? Tom and Jerry and Mary Poppins vibes. Yes. Okay, great. So you can already see the influence, right? He can rap. You can already see the influence, right? Yeah, he knows all his mathematics, said Hannah. She was very. It's a bop.
Yeah, it is a bop.
Yeah.
I would like to add something if that's okay.
Yeah, sure, Emma.
I watched a video a few days ago talking about how the musical genre affected Disney quite a bit, and that's why we have the Disney Renaissance, because animation and Disney kind of grew at the same time musicals and like Rodgers and Hammerstein were going. That they kind of intertwined.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, and you still absolutely you still see that to this day. You tried learning it once. It's a very difficult song. Like it's one of the most difficult songs in all of Gilbert and Sullivan, I would say probably. It sounds you like the old Disney, yeah, right. He looks like Cinderella's father-in-law. But the other funny thing is when you think about it, right? You have this whole group of pirates, and then they're supposed to be very like threatened by this guy, right? Oh, Peter picked a peck of pickled peppers, right? Or whatever it is. Yeah, you have to be like you really have to work on your enunciation, that's for sure. Yeah. All right, good. Okay, so the first American musical, so when we trace back like original musical that was written in America is in 1860, and it was called The Black Crook. All right. Now, early American comedies were very like full of stereotypes. They made fun of immigrants. They were super racist. So for a while, musicals were basically just like, they didn't really have a plot. Okay. They were just like pretty girls who were dancing around in like, short skirts and some songs. And there wasn't really a cohesive story that put it all together. You can actually kind of tell with some of these musicals where they were written because the villain is like based on whoever was like the bad guy in that part of the country. So you'll have like villains that are Irish. You'll have villains that are Mormons because they thought that like the Mormons were going to come and like steal their wives and daughters. No kidding. Like a friend of mine, that's what her thesis was about like the portrayal of Mormons in like early American musicals. You'll have villains that are like, Russians. You have villains that are, and they're all very like obviously like bad guys, right? I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with like Boris and Natasha from like the early Bullwinkle cartoons, right? But like where you can just on site, that they're bad people. Okay. But yeah, so no real plot, just some songs and some fun dance numbers, and it was fun to go see, right? So what changes? Emma, why don't you read this slide for us?
Okay. Started by Jerome catchy musical relatable characters, contemporary settings. The plot, music, and settings were designed to go together. Combinations of songs and dance and dialogue told a cohesive story, and the plot once again followed a climactic structure.
Yes, exactly. So we're actually starting to write a musical that is contemporary, which means what? Something's contemporary, it means that it's happening now, right? Okay. So it's based in what was modern day for them, so like the 50s, okay? The characters are relatable. Yes, exactly, Mildred. Thank you. And everything goes together. So the plot is actually helped, it's carried by the music, right? So what does that remind you of? A plot being carried by the music? No drama, Tom and Jerry. Well, it's like a modern like thing that you probably watch fairly frequently where the plot, the music is part of the plot. Disney. Yeah, right? Lots of like A Regular Place. Yeah, Bugs Bunny. Yeah, okay. So there's tons of examples, right? But this is when it actually started. All right. So what would previously happen would be here. Let me make a whiteboard real quick. New share whiteboard. So prior to this, in old musicals, it was like the plot would be going and then we'd have a song, right? And nothing happens to advance the plot during the song. And the plot would be going and then we'd have a song and et cetera, et cetera. But now it's actually like a traditional climactic structure where like the song is in here and something happens to advance the plot within the song. Do you remember the one short story where a boy was hunting a wolf and there was a duck and another animal and each were a musical instrument? That sounds familiar, Victor.
Oh, it's Peter and the Wolf.
Whoa, Emma, thank you.
Sorry.
It's okay. Like Frozen, yeah, like a lot of Disney movies for sure. Oh yeah, and all those like live action Disney movies, yeah, absolutely, right? I haven't watched any of them, but there's a very good YouTube channel where he like breaks down all of those. So I've seen all the information on what happens in The Descendants. But yeah, that's exactly
is that
right.
Alex Myers?
Yeah. Yep.
I love
Emma?
Alex Myers.
Me too. But yeah, okay, so tons of examples, right? And this is where it comes from. Okay, so we're gonna watch a illustrated version of Oklahoma, okay, which is basically one of the sort of most famous examples of an early book musical that made it big. Like this is one of the reasons why book musicals like became so popular.
Like Wicked.
Yep, exactly. Oh, play the video. There we go.
Wasn't all they added. The play opens in 1906 when Oklahoma is still a territory, and a Surrey wagon is a plausible way to get around town. Help us out, Thought Bubble. Cowboy Curly comes forward and sings, "Oh, what a beautiful mornin'," as though chatting to the audience. The Times critic Brooks Atkinson wrote that after a magnificent song like that, the banalities of the old musical stage became intolerable. Curly and a farm girl Lori clearly like each other, but can't seem to get along. Lori has another suitor, loner farmhand Judd Fry, who is basically a golden age incel. This guy is bad news. To make Curly jealous, Lori agrees to go to the box social with Judd, even though she's kind of afraid of him. Curly takes the news well, so well that he goes to see Judd and sings a joke/not joke song suggesting that Judd kill himself. Judd, also a really mature guy, decides that he's gonna marry Lori whether she wants to or not. Lori is so confused that she buys a magic potion from the Persian peddler Ali Hakim. She takes it and falls asleep. And that's when we get a 15-minute dream ballet where Lori imagines marrying Curly and Judd murdering Curly. That is a bad dream, and a good ballet. When she wakes, Laurie is too frightened to reject Judd, so they go to the box social. There's a scuffle between farmers and cowmen, and some comedy subplot stuff. Judd and Curly fight over Laurie, and Curly sells all of his things to win her heart. Judd confesses his feelings, Laurie rejects him, and then fires him. Curly and Laurie are married, but drunk Judd shows up and tries to kill Curly, which is not good wedding etiquette. They tussle, and Judd falls on his own knife, and Curly and Laurie get to go off on their honeymoon. A happy ending, except for the dead guy. Thanks, Thought Bubble. It's hard to get across how innovative Oklahoma, a musical that includes a number like The Farmer and the Cowman, actually is. Rogers' melodies had a distinctly American sound, and Hammerstein wrote the lyrics first, which meant that the songs were way more integral to the story and were written in the voices of the characters. Even more than Showboat, every song had a purpose, and so did every dance number. Agnes DeMille's Dream.
All right, so what do you think? Sort of, yeah, Sleeping Beauty. We have this like 15-minute dream ballet, which goes to sort of prove we're not dealing with realism, right? Musicals can be set in a real place, but they're not trying to pretend like this is real life where everybody breaks out into song. And I know there was like a show about that not too long ago, right? How'd Ethan gone? Yeah. Okay, good. All right, so
Yeah,
here's, sorry, yeah, go ahead, Emma.
Even then, they had incels.
Oh, yeah. When he says that, the first time I heard that, I was like, wow. So how does this impact the rest of media? Well, for the first time, we had plays that were running for literal years. They were so popular, okay? And remember that this is in a time when you couldn't just like hop on a plane and get to New York City, right? You had to like, traveling was a big deal. So tickets were selling out as much as 6 months in advance for these shows. All right. Now, if you couldn't get to New York City, but you wanted to see one of these plays, if you lived in a larger city like Philadelphia, Boston, probably Chicago, DC, Atlanta, maybe, they would have maybe a touring company that would come to your city, right? Which we still have today, right? Touring companies are very popular. In addition, if we go over to other media, we had newspapers who for the first time were printing reviews of new musicals, which, as we sort of already discussed when we watched the In the Heights documentary, is a big deal, right? A bad review can really do a number on a play. The birth of Rotten Tomatoes, yeah. Now, the other big thing is that radio stations at the time were actually playing the music and they were selling records of the soundtracks. But the biggest development, and something that is going to sort of drive musicals through the 60s, but also you can still sort of see the importance of this today, is Hollywood making film versions of these musicals. Now, obviously, when Hollywood is going to make a version, they're going to change some things up a bit, right? The sort of biggest thing is the incorporation of traditional movie stars into these films, right? So I'm going to show you a number from Guys and Dolls. We're going to watch Luck Be a Lady, starring Marlon Brando, but also in this version was Frank Sinatra. So when you watch this, I want you to look at what's the difference between how this is done on film and probably how it was done on the stage, right? In the theater originally.
It's very interesting. But maybe with honest dice, I can make a pass to save his soul. And yours, and yours, and yours. I'm gonna roll these dice. One roll. And on that roll, I'm gonna bet each of you $1,000 against your soul. 1,000 cash against a marker for your soul. If I win, all of you show up at the mission tonight. Have I got a bet?
Let me get this. Hold on. Let me get this. If you lose, then you gotta give us each $1,000, huh? But if you win, then we all gotta show up at the Mission Dolls Cabaret?
Save a soul mission, midnight tonight, one meeting.
If you lose 1,000 apiece?
1,000 apiece.
Well, that's okay by me.
What have I got to lose?
What's the delay, Sky? You turning chicken?
You know better than that, horse. You see me roll for twice as much. Only I got a lot more than money riding on this one. They call you Lady Luck, but there is room for doubt. At times you have a very unladylike way of running out. You're on this date with me. The pickings have been lush. And yet before this evening is over, you might give me the brush. You might forget your manners, you might refuse to stay. And so the best that I can do is pray. Luck be a lady tonight. Luck be a lady tonight. Lucky if you've ever been a lady to begin with. Luck be a lady tonight. Luck let a gentleman see how nice a dame you can be. I know the way you've treated other guys you've been with. Luck be a lady with me. A lady doesn't leave her escort. It isn't fair, it isn't nice. A lady doesn't wander all over the room and blow on some other guy's dice. So let's keep the party polite. Never get out of my sight. Stick with me, baby, I'm the fella you came in with. Luck be a lady. Luck be a lady. Luck be a lady tonight. A lady wouldn't flirt with strangers. She'd have a heart, she'd have a soul. A lady wouldn't make little snake eyes at me when I bet my life on this roll. So let's keep the party polite.
Why don't he shoot? Why don't he shoot?
Never get out of my sight.
Come on, install it.
Stick with me, baby, I'm the fella you came in with. Luck be a lady.
Sky's turning yellow.
Luck be a lady.
What are you scared of?
Luck be a lady tonight.
All right, what you think? Looney Tunes vibes?
I don't like him. I don't know
Yeah.
why. I just do not like him.
You don't trust Sky Masterson? Okay, so
I do not trust him.
Zanette has a good point, right? Marlon Brando isn't really a singer, right? So why do they put him in this film? Well, it's 1955, right? He's a huge Hollywood star, right, for his acting. You want to get people to see the movie, right? So Frank Sinatra, Marlon Brando, I mean, that's a pretty powerful combination at the time, right? Okay. But thinking about, so what's the difference? Do you think that this set is kind of like a theater set? No? You rolled a 2 + 2 = 4. Not really? Why not? More like a movie production? Okay. So we're definitely, it's kind of like a set, right? We have a clear location where we are. It would be very difficult to like get all that stuff in, right? But when you watch this movie compared to a couple of the other early musicals, you're right. This is much more like a movie set than some of the earlier ones. So for instance, this is not the version we're going to watch, but let me show you a picture from an early version of The King and I. We're going to watch the version that just came out a couple of years ago. Where's a good picture? Here we go. So compare that to, no, I don't want to watch a video. I just want to see the picture. I swear to everything on this planet. Show me the picture. All right, here we go. Compare that to this. This looks more like a theater set, right? You agree? Yeah. Another picture from this version of The King and I. Well, like this one, where they're just on the floor. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. When we watch The King and I, we're going to watch the version that's from, this is 1956. We're going to watch the version from when? I think it was just like 2 years ago. But the difference between the other controversy with The King and I, again, starred like a huge star, right? The film version of it starred what's his name? Can't remember what his name is. Yul Brynner as the king, right? Who is playing an Asian character, and he was from, is it Russia? Yeah, he's from Russia. So you can see, right? They definitely didn't like care about who they were casting in the roles, right? Okay, so all of this is just to say that musicals today are still influenced by all of this stuff, right? All of this stuff that originated in the 50s, mid 50s, especially when you look at the impact of musical theater, still like resonates to this day. You guys agree? Yeah. So when you think about it for your papers, right? This might be something that you would want to mention or you can mention. So we need to talk about that. So a bunch of you did not turn in your musical theater papers. You know who you are. I have to have those by the 6th. Okay? Because I have to put them into this like third-party system. So not even considering your grade for like this class, right? There's like the RPA like system that is part of Uplift. So I have to have them for that. Now, I am going to create a thing that for you to a place for you to turn them in at, okay? If you want to turn them in to that place that said like turn in your RPA papers here. You guys know what I'm talking about? Yes, you can redo them. You can redo them, okay? But I need you to turn them into, I'm going to pull it up here. Actually, why don't I move it just so that it's easier to find? Would that be? I'm going to move it just to the main page. So let me show you where it's going to be. So right here at the bottom of class content, this is just the main class content folder. All late RPA papers here, I want you to turn them in here, okay? And I'm going to put that they are due the 6th at midnight. I have to have them by then so that I can submit your grade to the RPA. I don't have office hours technically anymore. However, if you guys want me to hold like sort of an office hour, I can log back into this class at noon. If you want to come back for like half an hour, if you guys want to hang out at noon o'clock. So if you have any problems with your paper, come back at noon. Let me write that down. Rejoin 3rd period at noon. So yes, you can redo them. You can please submit them. Like I said, it's a hard deadline, meaning that I cannot, if you have to turn it in after the 6th, you can still get a grade for the class, but you will have a 0 for the RPA. Yes, Victor, if you haven't submitted it already, or if you've already submitted it, you're good. So let me stop share so that those of you who are wondering, like, did I submit it? I'm confused. I have papers from Theory, Madeline, Julian, Zanette, Alyssa, Mia, Dara, Mildred, although Mildred, you might want to look at yours for comments. Jada, again, you might want to look at yours for comments, and Victor. Okay, so if I didn't call your name, either you need to redo it or I didn't get anything from you. All right. Okay, so I'm going to give you the last 6 minutes to please do the exit ticket. All right, make sure you're doing American Musical exit ticket. So you can go ahead. Let me make sure that it's open. I'm pretty sure I opened it earlier. I am giving you 3 attempts on it, or I just changed it. So it is enabled. So you can go ahead and do your exit ticket. Can I type in chat? Yours did not meet the word limit, Wace, so I cannot count it. It can't count. Nope, that wasn't the word limit. Double check it again because I think it's 600 to 850 or something. So go ahead and do the exit ticket. And then if you have any questions, I'm here to answer them, or you can, of course, always email them to me. But yeah, if you did not meet the word requirement, you also did not get credit. So you have to make sure you meet the word requirement. Just a second. Sorry, my cat's screaming. Emma, your camera's going nuts. Yes, Victor, that is correct. So remember, you can always use the slides on this too, okay? your notes or your slides, you can use those for the exit ticket or both. And if you have any questions, let me know. You've got about 3 or 4 more minutes. Sorry. Chair feels very low. Guess it's not though. So once you complete the exit ticket, you are free to go. Okay. I will see you on Carla. Hopefully Carla wasn't in the waiting room for too long. I will see you on Thursday. And we're going to talk about contemporary theater. So a couple more minutes, do the exit ticket. You're beautiful, Emma. It's wonderful. Can't think of who you look like with that on. There's somebody though.
I look real good. I look real good. I'm going crazy. If we're being honest here, I'm slowly losing my mind.
I think we are. Carla, we're just doing the exit ticket right now. So if I know that you've only got a couple more minutes. Just make sure that you do it by midnight tonight. I'm sorry that.
I know who I look like. I look like Gomez from Addams Family.
I'm thinking of a chef, but I can't remember which chef it is.
Ooh, I can get that chef hat back on.
There you go.
Where did I put it? There it is. Look at me. I'm a good chef. I'm Italian. They don't believe in croutons. I was very sad to find that out. They believe in just bread. Not crouton bread.
I'll have to ask my friend Luca about that.
I went to this Italian pizza place and I asked for croutons on my salad.
They didn't have any?
They yelled at me and they were like, no croutons! I don't believe in the croutons.
Wow, that's intense.
It's very sad because I wanted those croutons.
All right, friends, I'm going to go ahead and close the room. Like I said, let me know if you have any questions, and I will log back into this classroom at noon for about 30 minutes. So if you do have any questions that you want to go over, then I will be there. Okay? Bye.
I need to go mess with Mr.
I have a
Fadden.
quick question.
You too.
Hello?
Hi.
What, Wace? Yeah.
What is a D-bio? I think that's how you say it.
I'm sorry?
What is a Veo D-bio? I think that's how you say it.
Is it in the exit ticket?
Yeah.
Which question are you looking at?
I'm looking at question number 3.
Oh, sorry, they're randomized. So what's the question? What was
the one? It says early musicals were formed by the following elements except.
Oh, okay. So vaudeville. Yeah.
Vaudeville?
Yeah, vaudeville, comedy burlesque, operette, or tap dancing. So those
Tap dance.
Yeah.
Comedy verse.
Burlesque. Yep.
Burlesque.
Yep, good.
If I knew what vaudeville?
Vaudeville.
Vaudeville? Yeah. What was that again?
That's the short series of like short skits and songs that sort of like got compiled together. It's
Oh.
on Slide. It's like very at the very beginning of the presentation where we talked
Slide
about.
3, I think.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that exists. I think it's operette.
Yeah, remember we talked about, let me see, let me find it really quick. I'll show you the slide. Slide 4 is what it is. There you go. So we have vaudeville is the series of short skits and song and dance. Comedy burlesque is where we're making a mockery of something. And then operette, we watched that little example of an operette from Pirates of Penzance, where it's like it's a shorter opera, but it's meant to be really like funny and high and very quick. Does that help? Are you there? Does that help? Okay,
Oh, my mic was muted. Yeah, I hope.
Oh, that's okay. All right. Yeah, that's fine. I got to close the room so I can start up my next class. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye.